Hi everyone, my name is Heather Sibley, and the book I've chosen to review is called Helmet for My Pillow. This autobiography was written by Robert Leckie. It was published in 1957. This is a personal account of Robert Leckie's experiences as he joined the military. He was in the Marine Corps, he was in the 1st Marine Division, he was a machine gunner, and he was a scout for the military in the Marine Corps, and it takes a personal account of his experiences when he was in basic and goes up into when he went to fight in World War II. Something unique about this story is that he introduces a lot of his comrades in this book, and he never calls them by name. He talks about them and has nicknames for all of his comrades. And I just find that unique because he had a certain way that he named them by the way that they looked and their stature. Not only does the story give an account of his experience through basic, but it tells about the war, and it's so detailed, and the amount of detail and imagery that he uses when he's explaining his experience is what makes this story so catchy and realistic. Even though it is an autobiography, it's both funny, it's humorous, and there are some sad parts in the story where he loses comrades as the war progresses. Leckie passed away in 2001, and this is probably one of his best works. I've read this book cover to cover, every word on every page. This has to be one of the most interesting autobiographies I have ever read. You know, a lot of times when we read autobiographies, we are kind of bored with this story. I mean, it's just your typical story, but this has such great detail, and it makes me feel like I'm really participating in a real part of his life as I'm reading the story. Something I really like about this story, I can really make a personal connection with it. My husband served in the Army, and a lot of his experiences that he had in the Army are, some of them are very close in nature with Robert Leckie's experiences in the military, and it's great to be able to make a personal connection with a story because it makes it that much more interesting for you to read. Something else that is very personal to me is that this story goes with a series that is actually on HBO. If you've ever watched Band of Brothers, there is also another show called The Pacific, and it branches off from the Band of Brothers. Well, The Pacific goes with the story. It's actually about Leckie, and something very fascinating about the series, and I have just begun to watch it. My husband actually had the series here at home, and I started watching it, and it is amazing how close this story goes with the series. A lot of times when you're watching a series on TV and you read a story, sometimes there's so much information missing from the series that goes with the book, and I have found that this series and the book go very close together, hand in hand. It brings it more to life. It's more realistic when you can see it and read it at the same time. It's very, very interesting. The lesson plan I'm going to be doing to branch off of this book is a writing activity. Students are going to be provided with a writing prompt. I'll be providing resources for them with books about World War II and about different soldiers and their experiences in war. And like Leckie, we learned that about his experiences when he was in the military and what he did as far as his position on the battlefield. I'm going to let students choose a soldier to write about, and they're going to use those resource books to look up information about the soldier, about where they trained, and how they participated in the war that they were participating in, what their job was, and they're going to write a personal account on that soldier's part, like an autobiography of that soldier. They will also be using a PowerPoint to present their information that they have found in those books. They'll give, they'll present pictures and the information that they have wrote with their report. And the great thing about this is that it can be used to differentiate instruction, because the students will be working in groups together. They'll be placed in groups according to their needs. We'll be able to use different books that are on their reading level so that they can understand the information that they're reading, so that they can write their part of the report. So that way all students are involved and not just a certain student in the group. We want all students to participate in the activity. So this was a great book. I am excited about using this in the classroom, and that's it.